So, welcome to this episode of the Pain and Purpose podcast. I'm the host, Darrin Bedford, and today I got a special guest because she like us. She is my sister, not like she is my sister. and 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 she's came into my life and been nothing but a bundle of joy and supportive and very just like genuine. She's also had her own trials and tribulations with incarceration and losing a bunch of loved ones in a very short period of time. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Everybody, welcome Miss Monique Turner.
Hey, aka Miss Key.
What's happening, sis?
What's going on with you?
So before the cameras came on, we was talking about all the losses that you've endured, and I think that might be a good place to start. Like, how did because you said right before you went to jail, you started losing people.
Yes, so we could start there. Okay, so I'm gonna paint the picture at being the 19-year-old. Let's start there. So at 19, I had my son, just so we could paint the picture of having him and where the age he was. So at 19 years old, I had my son. I grew up in San Francisco, Valencia Gardens, right, the projects. Hey, shout out to the VGs. But at 23, and so I lived with both my parents, right, which was something that was rare growing up in the projects. And so I was really blessed and fortunate for that. And at 23, my whole world turned upside down. I lost my dad to cancer. We found out that he had cancer, and the doctor said he had 6 months, and in 6 months he was gone.
Wow.
Ain't that crazy? Like it still blows my mind to this day. How they just was able to give him that date, but yet there's so many other people that live longer than that, like my cousin. But so then, because my parents was together all of my life, right? And so at that time, I think I was 23, so like 24 or 25 years. My mom, when I was 24, a year later, passed away from a broken heart. Nothing, no signs, of sickness or anything, just here like that night before. I never forget, because she called me, she was like, Monique, do you want some, I think it was oxtails, greens, right, the cornbread and stuff, because she had cooked the mac and cheese. She always cooked soul food. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come. Mind you, we lived in the same apartments, so why I didn't go? Too caught up in the street life, right? Back then, it was the streets. And so, I didn't go. And the next morning, I got a phone. I did go home, though. And the next morning, I got a phone call from my sister, like, they think that my mom is in the house dead. And I'm like, what? Like, how is that even, like, this don't even sound right. Like, yeah, like, what are y'all talking about? And they was like, yeah, I think that she in there. And so I was like, I ain't going. And my sister went in there, and somebody else, I can't remember, and sure enough, that was the case. So at 23, I lost my mom. At 23, I lost my dad. At 24, I lost my mom. And then at 25, here come the feds. Here come the feds, baby. And so then I had to go serve 5 years. I got sentenced. They came before that, I was able to get out on bail and I had served 9 days at first, and then was able to get out on pretrial and fight my case from the streets, but at 25 then, now here came, I had to serve 5 years. I got sentenced to 60 months in federal prison.
And with that being so fresh and the loss so profound, I know that had to do something mentally to you inside the walls.
Oh yeah, it's so funny because looking back, I feel like I could really tell myself and feel like I really went crazy. During times of like birthdays or celebrations of my parents, and I can say that because I would literally be in my.
This episode is sponsored by Choice Catering. Chef Doja, he amazing. I always go to him for my garlic noodles and crab. He better than any restaurant in the Bay Area. I promise you. My wife loves the salmon and garlic rice. He even throw in shrimp when you do the garlic crab. He throw in some extra shrimp for you. But that being said, if you're interested, go to Choice Catering. The number is 510-424-2120. Choice Catering, the real garlic noodles of the Bay. With that being said, let's get back to the episode.
I would literally be in my room because it wasn't set up like a cell, right? I feel like it was more like college dorm living. But I'd be in there crying for hours, like 5, 6 hours, just screaming and hollering and losing my mind, right? To me, that's a sign of like losing your mind, you know, because it was just, I didn't have my parents, and I was in a situation, I didn't even have my son. My son was away from, even though I praise God for my little sister and my cousin, my best friend, cousin/sister, and you know, and my family, my son's father and everybody, and the person I was with at the time, you know, for being there for me and supporting me and through that situation, because they made my time easy, because I never wanted for nothing. I always had money on my books. I always seen my son on the weekends, you know. I feel like I seen my son every weekend, if not every weekend, every other weekend. And it was for long visits, right? Because it's in the Fed. So I was able to be with him for the 5, 6, 7 hours, you know, able to play and eat and yeah, all that good stuff. And so thank God for them. But yeah, no, I went crazy in there. And then I lost people while I was in there.
I was about to ask you that. Because that's one of the most traumatic things about me losing my daughter, is I couldn't get my son out to see him bury his sister. And they call each other twins, and they look just alike. And so now he's still incarcerated, and now days he want to discuss it, he can't because of his environment. Because he's in the state, like he in the county, so
yeah, that's right.
And so you can't show no vulnerability in there. You can't show no emotions, but you broken inside. So what you saying is a little different because you had the space to express yourself. So I put myself in my son's space mentally a lot, trying to figure out how I can help him process losing his sister, and it's been going on damn near 3 years, and he still hasn't been able to really process it like I think he needs to, because he has to be tough. He has to be that he has to be that guy in there, and he can't show his emotions. So that always bothers me.
Yeah. And I could see it because the crazy thing is, like, when we lose people and we're in prison, even when he come out, it still is. I mean, for me, like, I lost my great grandmother, who was my world, like everything, just every part of growing up as a kid and having a grandmother. She was everything that means and stands for, you know. And 2 of my favorite aunts that I grew up with, my mom's sister and my cousin's mom. And I promise you, it still feel like they here, you know, like I feel like they here, but I can't get to them because I never was able to really go through that grieving process. Like, yeah, it's like, you know, they gone, you hear they gone, you hear it over the phone, but you can't really process it because it's like in your, I don't know, for me, in my mind, it's still like, oh, I'm gonna see him again.
Yeah.
Right? Because I never went, like, even with my parents, I never went up to see them. So it's still like, I know they gone, but it's always this like, oh, I'm gonna see him again. Because it never became reality. I didn't make it my reality. I was too scared.
And I finally admitted that to my second oldest daughter, because I didn't go to Nana's funeral. So I was scared. You know, a part of me was scared of making that my reality. Right. And then I didn't want to see my baby in a casket. So I visited her before they put her in a casket. She was just laying on a gurney underneath a blue blanket, like she was asleep on my couch. Yeah. So I was able to rub her hair, turn her head, see where she was hit, seeing how they fixed her. And that's how I got my closure. I never want to see my baby in the casket for fear of the finality of it. Right. So is when I hear other people say they go up to the casket, it like gives me like this is like somewhat normal. Mm-hmm. Like some people, everybody don't go to the casket because, you know, everybody processes grief differently.
Right. Yeah. We all grieve differently, and our love, everybody. I always say that too. It's like this one person, right, that we lose means something different to everybody. Even though we in the same, even though like that, it could be our sibling, right? Like that could be my siblings. I mean, like let's say for instance, my siblings. We both lost a mother. Yeah. We all lost a mother, right? We all lost a father. But the pain is hitting us all different, right? Even though it's 23 years later. My dad was in 2000. Yeah. 23 years later. Well, no, 26 years later. 25, yeah, going on 26 because it was December. So in December 2022 is about to be 25 years. And it's crazy because it still feel like, I still to this day will lose my mind, like just have days where I'm just crying and just going crazy. Like I just got to scream and yell and lose it for a minute because, like losing somebody is hard, especially when they was your everything. My parents was my everything.
How about to say, especially when they was your superhero. And so that's an aspect that most people don't consider. Like I've been speaking to a lot of people about death, right? And everybody makes it a me thing. And so there's something else I had to learn, like give my baby mama grace because she lost a daughter too.
Right.
And just because she did some things that I wouldn't necessarily done doesn't make it wrong. Right. That's just the way she grieves. Right. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. Yeah. Whereas we victimize or we crucify people for grieving differently than us. And so that was some of the growth that I had to experience during this process. And now I give her so much more grace. She still do things that I be like, stop, leave me alone. But I now give her a lot more grace because I understand that she's grieving on a different level. Because I tell people, fathers, we go through the feelings of a failure because we're supposed to provide and protect. But the mother's the nurturer. Right. That's a different aspect. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But the same thing I was accusing her of, I was doing too. But the me. Like, that's my child. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. So it is good that you brought up the fact that your sisters or your siblings are grieving in a different way. Because I don't know if y'all even talk about that.
Yeah, you know what? Really, we don't. I mean, we've touched on it from time to time, but not really. No, not like to reflect on it. We haven't really talked about sometimes, like me and my little sister. So let me say that me and my little sister will touch on the fact of like seeing our dad, like because she'll be like she sees him sometimes. Me too, right? Like I can see him and things like that. So and the pain that we're still feeling. So me and her sometimes will, but me and my brother, we don't. And sometimes me and my older sister will a little bit, but not my brother. Interesting.
I think you should have a conversation.
I think I should too. Yeah, because
men won't talk. Yeah. Because we've been conditioned to hold our emotions in, and just like yesterday, a famous football player committed suicide. Michael Nehan or like Dallas Cowboys, 24 years old. What? Committed suicide. He lost his mom and he told his girlfriend that he was ready to end it all. And I don't think nobody really took him serious. And then when the police went to his house, they found him deceased, self-inflicted gun wound. But as men commit complete suicide every 13 minutes in the United States because we can't talk. So talk to your brother because he probably really want to talk about it, but don't know how it's going to be, don't know how it's going to come out, don't know how it's going to be perceived. And so I think that might be a good thing to just ask him how he feeling, even all these years later, because I've been talking to people and people been holding on to things for years. Like one lady, she's 60. And she got molested at 5. And she been holding that this whole time. And it's been eating her up on the inside. So just because we don't talk about it, that don't mean it's not eating us up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I think as like maybe call a sibling meeting and just, you probably could start it off with, this is, I've been missing mom and pops. And this is how I'm feeling. And that by you expressing the way you feel, and one of your sisters will go, and then eventually he'll open up, and he probably gonna cry like he never cried before.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna hook up. We'll definitely do lunch or something. It was just my dad's birthday, November 3rd, when we just was in Vegas. It was just my daddy's birthday when we was just in Vegas. So, and like I said, his celebration day is coming up. So definitely I'll plan something around that so that we can all come together and share stories and memories and just how we feeling in this moment.
How you feeling in this moment? And I firmly believe that no one really dies until the last person alive stop talking about them.
Amen.
So if we never stop talking about our loved ones, they'll never really die. And the grief is just something that we just have to learn how to carry with us. And in the beginning, it's terrible. Like, it is some tough days ahead of you. But as time goes on and you learn more coping mechanisms and new strategies, it gets easier. But I still think that we need to talk about them.
Yeah, we do. I agree. I always talk about my mama and daddy, like, cause I love them, and they was just such a force together. Like they was everything, and especially in our community, right, in our hood. My mom was the cook and the one that everybody loved. My dad was the shit talker, but also the one that everybody loved, right? And because together they provided for so many different people. They were such givers and lovers, and so, yeah, I love my parents.
I think looking at you express that, I think that's how Miss Keys was born.
Yeah, so Miss Key, she actually came, it's so funny. So Miss Key came about, so when I came home from prison, I still, bumped my head, broke the law a little bit, got in some trouble. And so while I was because first of all, we all know, and I never did that jail talk nonsense, because everybody in jail, you gonna do this, you gonna do that, you gonna, all these, plans. But for me, it was more so like, I'm gonna be me, and all I can do is be me, and in that process, we gonna see what comes out of that, right? And so what came out of it was me stepping into same-sex relationships, right? I decided that I didn't want to be with men anymore, so I was with women only, right? Married 16 years. But then I was in the halfway house. That's what I was saying. I was in the halfway house. In the halfway house, I ended up getting a vision. I was on my way out. I had to do a 6-month violation. Praise God, it was only 6 months. That's a whole nother podcast, right? But it was for a violation. And what I will just say is this, is just for people that are on probation and that are struggling, we put ourselves in situations. So if we don't want to go back to jail, stop putting yourself in a situation that could take you back there. That's it and that's all, right? We have to take full accountability. It's easy to blame somebody else. Like in that moment, I was in the car. I just hopped in the car with my friend real quick. Just real quick, like, and she just went around the block. It was 2.5 ounces in the car. Here come the police swarming the car. And now, guess what? I'm in the car, and now I'm going to jail too, all because I'm in the car, right? And so she did what she needed to do, though, as owning her drugs and things like that, which was great. But the reality is I put myself in a bad situation. Yeah, and I still got violated. And mind you, it could have been, I just was in prison with people that had did 20 years, doing 30 years, just for being in the car with somebody. And now here it is, but she didn't tell me that she had nothing in the car. But still, I knew the environment I was in. I know what she does, right? So why am I putting myself in that situation? So again, we always blaming somebody else for something that happens to us when we put ourselves in this situation, right? So I did that. 6 months halfway house. God is so good, love him dearly. And in that moment, he said, Monique, start a nonprofit, it's your purpose. I believe that in 2010. I met my cousin at my cousin's funeral. The connection, lost my train of thought. So my cousin Vince, he ended up connecting me with DB. That's how I got connected to DB. And so DB blessed me and started letting me do groups at the youth gardens, up there at WEDA. And so I would come in on the weekends because I'm in halfway house, right? Of course I want to get out. Sometimes I would really go and sometimes I really wouldn't, right? I would go home and be with my kids. But, so when I would go, I was able to do the workshops and stuff. And then in that, I've started writing plays, right? And using my plays as a way to do my workshops. And so DB gave me the blueprint on, the 50-minute workshop and how to do it and everything. And so my oldest son started getting in trouble. He's getting in trouble in school. School called me like, can he Mind you, I had already been going like a year and a half, right? Trying to figure out how do I get myself in schools and this and that. And in that, then the school called like, oh, you know, Anthony, can he be in this program? Can he be a part of this and this and that? And I was like, well, I don't understand why it's not mandatory. If he's getting D's and F's, stuff should be mandatory. Y'all only calling me about these absence and tardies, not about these D's and F's, right? And so then in that, God said, Monique, take all your stuff. I went down there to the school to my son meeting and I was like, I do X, Y, and Z. Well, we talked about what he needs to do, but then I also asked a gentleman that had the program in the school, like, how you get your program in here? He told me and I was like, oh, I do X, Y, and Z. I brought in, you know, showing them my stuff and stuff. And the dean, he was like, oh, principal needs to hear this. And just like that, bruh, he came in and I told him I do this and that. And he was like, when can you start? I started volunteering. And so I volunteered at Pittsburgh High for the 6 months and then led to another one, and in that, I had to get my record expunged. I expunged my own record, wrote up my own motion to terminate my probation early and everything. That's just how amazing God is. And so in that came Miss Key. So first it was, I was always telling myself, it's never personal, it's always purpose, never personal, always purpose, because so many people was judging me now, right? Everybody's judging me, making me feel bad, making me feel like I don't belong here. I'm not one of them, right? Because now people are finding out that I'm on federal probation, just probation period, right? They don't know if it's state or what, but I'm on state and federal now, right? But I told the principal I told them the truth before I started. So they were willing to accept me being in there, yes, did my fingerprints and everything. So when the prints came back, it wasn't no surprise because I told them. Only difference was I couldn't be with the students. I had to be in the library so other people around me because of my record. Cool. But after that, they was like, you got to get this expunged. You got to get this off. I did that. Right? And that's how now I've been able to stay in the schools and be in the schools because I don't have no record. My record is expunged. But in that, like I was saying, never personal, always purpose. And so I was saying, then I never forget, her name was Miss Beverly. She was like, Monique, you should put that on a shirt. That sound good. So then I start putting never personal, always purpose on shirts. And then in that came this logo. So then came the logo. It's like, oh, you need to make it a logo. So I was like, oh, bullseye, right? Like you throwing darts because you own the money when you understanding that no matter what, it's never personal. It's always a purpose, right? So that's when it was like, this is more than a brand. It's a mindset, right? So turn this into a whole business. But then from there, it was like I wanted to relate more with the kids. And so I had dyed my hair colored. I had colored streaks in my hair, bro. It's so funny. And then so from there, yeah, I had somebody drew me. And that's how Miss Key came about. Miss Key came about because somebody drew me, and then I had them draw her in the form of a key because it was like Miss Key is the key to your life, your master key. We all have the key to our own lives, right? It's up to us to unlock the doors and not get stuck, right? And not get stuck. So that's what she is. She the master key, so you could believe that you could walk through any door. And when you walk through, you better believe and know that some people are gonna tell you no. But you got to know that no means a new opportunity, right? So these is all mindset things I was telling myself as I was going on this journey. Yeah.
And that's amazing. One, that because that's a story of persistence.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
That's a story of persistence. And even though you were doing things and you were making progress, to be in the middle of doing something, making progress, and then still be getting told no, still can be discouraging.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so I tell people, try to get 100 no's. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So, and I also tell people that when I started my truck driving career, I thought I was gonna start working at Waste Management. Had 3 interviews at Waste Management, they always told me no. Took my butt to San Francisco, first interview, got the job, which turned out to be a better job than Waste Management, right? In certain aspects. Do the same job, but we get paid more and different things like that. So sometimes no means another opportunity. Uh-huh. You know what I'm saying? Like something that's better, just stay on the path. If you really think that this is your path, stay on it.
Right. Yeah, stay on it.
And so that is like, even though I've probably heard parts of that story before, but just hearing it like this gives a person a different perspective of you. You know what I'm saying? And how not only how persistent, but how dedicated you are to helping the kids. Yeah. And we just had a conversation in Vegas, and he was like, bruh, like you got to stop playing.
Yeah, you got to. Come on, right? Because it's so fun. Like, I never feel like I'm at work, right? Like, that's why I always wear it. The kids call me Miss Key. Now, I dress up in the costume, Miss Key, right? So now I'm on this mission, and I just keep changing what I'm doing. So it's like now with Miss Key, first it was just, okay, so with the adults, it was, oh, she's the key, master key to our life, right? Now, but with the kids, it's so much more. It's like Miss Key is bringing back kindness, bravery, imagination, and resilience, because I'm showing the kids, this is me using my imagination. I created this character, and now I'll show them me in the character, right? And talking and doing the assembly, and they just love it. And so I do that because and I'm telling them the message behind it. It's like, look, this is me using my imagination. This is me being brave, right? Because some of y'all laughing at me right now, but look how I'm still doing it and I'm being brave, right? And then this is me being resilient no matter what, right? And so that's the message, and being kind, and then, just all about kindness and speaking up. So my message is always like, speak up if somebody is hurting you or hurting somebody you know. Speak up.
And that's not only a message, it's very impactful.
Right, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've been to the school and seen how the kids respond to you. You know what I'm saying? And I've came to the school and I've talked to a small group of kids at your direction. You know what I mean? And they respond. And so what you're doing is amazing. And sitting here talking to you, my wheels are spinning like
You finna get started.
I'm gonna go ahead.
You have to, bro.
I'm gonna go ahead and get, because it's not like I don't have it. I just got to get it. I just got to get it printed.
And you have it, and you're doing it, right? Your thing is where we all fall short, right? Because like me, even right now, I'm falling short on, I know what Miss Key is. I know what this brand, Miss Key and the Super Crew, the whole brand. Look, I got commercial cartoons behind her, YouTube behind all this, but still I'm not as persistent pushing her the way that I know that I need to, because her message is different. Her message is tailored to our 5-year-old to 13, where our kids are being lost at, right? Like where it's the imagination is dying, the bravery is dying, right? And being resilient, because they're all behind the phones or being told what they can't do. Instead of
I was about to say, it's not really dying, it's being killed. Like
right.
The adults, and I talked about this in the episode before, when you were 0 to 3, 0 to 5, and they ask you what you want to do, and you tell them something wild, like an astronaut.
Yep, you're just talking about that.
They champion that. Right?
Yeah.
Then you get to middle school and you say astronaut, and that's stupid. There's no black astronauts, or you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whatever that adult thinks in it,
or what your grades are. If your grades is all F's, it's like, oh, you ain't gonna be able to do that. But why I can't?
Yeah, instead of encouraging the child to do better, the adult places or projects their limitations onto the child based on the things that they weren't able to accomplish in their life. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And so then definitely by high school, you better not say you want to be an astronaut or a policeman. And so I've been telling people that be a police officer. If that's what you want to do and you're going to be a good police officer, it's a job.
And it's more than a job, though, right? Like for them, if that's something you really want to do, that's aligned with your purpose, right? That passion in you is aligned with your purpose, so it's not a job, right? It is literally what you was called to do.
Yeah, and so whether it be the neighborhood, the parents, the teachers, sometimes even the principal, like I've been told some crazy stuff by a principal before. You know what I mean? And I've also said that my 5th grade teacher told me one day, you ain't gonna do nothing but be the garbage man. I wish she was still alive so I could have told her it came true, but
that ain't all that I am.
But I make 3 times more than the teacher.
Right. And it's not all that I am.
It's not all that I am, but you said you wasn't gonna be nothing but the garbage man, like that was a bad thing.
Right. It wasn't
it's not a bad thing at all.
It has allowed you to live an amazing and a really good life, taking care of your kids and grandkids and then some.
And I got a lot of grandkids.
But with that being said, bruh, that's why it's so important for you to really, and look how you started. You led with an NFL player committing suicide. Yeah. Your message, not the full message, but a lot of what you are teaching, and especially to our young kids, that silence to not be silenced, right? Well, that is a lot to do with suicide, to do with depression, to do with anxiety, not feeling they worth and knowing they worth and they value. So it's so, I believe that this is why, again, we just had this conversation in Vegas, but that's why I'm here right now, because I know and watch how it's gonna you about to just explode out, and so I'm excited.
I'm excited too, and
because we need you. Our youth need you. They need a man. They just need more male role models that are showing them that be you. Speak up, speak out, right, and don't be silent.
Conform to the norm, because everybody not designed to put on a suit and tie. Right. Like, I'm not a suit and tie type person, right? So I think that the adults in the community need to do better with opening up their mind and not being so closed off, because a closed off mind quickly, deters these young men. And I've been telling young men, like, if you can sell dope, you can run a business. And that's not no cliche type stuff. Like, that's like, I can show you how to start your LLC and you don't have credit. So it's easy to build credit from no credit than bad credit. So, and so some people listen and some people don't, but the few that listen, they live in a pretty decent life. So I know that I have a purpose in that lane. I just gotta get out my own way. And I just say that, I just leave it like that. I gotta get out my own way. So
yeah, stop playing double dutch. It's like you double dutch. It's like you ready to jump in, and then you jump in, you go 10, 20, 30, and then you out. Then you jump back in, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, then you out, right? Jump all the way in and get to 100.
Jump all the way and get to 100.
Yeah.
So I think that was a beautiful episode. I think we covered everything.
I think we did too. I think it was good.
So the final question would be, based on everything that you said, what's the legacy of Mrs. Keys?
Oh, so the legacy of Mrs. Key moving forward is my granddaughter, Demaya, is one of our superheroes. So I also write books and have coloring books with Miss Key and the Super Crew. So I have now expanded Miss Key by having my kids and my grandkids and my nieces and my nephews. They are the characters that are with Miss Key, and she's the Super Crew. And so now what I'm about to do is I am about to really blow her up, because the vision has become clear of who she needs to become. So at first she was just the logo on a shirt, right? And I give these hoodies away to the students after I do assemblies, right, on social media or whatever. So the kids loved it. This year now I brought the character to life, right? And so now I'm on stage with the character and they love that. Well, now I have to be able to spread the message all around, so I have to really get her YouTube going. And with my granddaughter, who's 5, who just loves everything about the brand, the Mrs. Key, and the kindness. And so, stay tuned for Mrs. Key to be on a TV near you. Miss Key and the Super Crew.
So, with that being said, today, this has been an amazing episode of the Pain and the Purpose podcast. And if you're currently experiencing an extreme level of pain or any level of pain, just understand that underneath that pain, it is a purpose. We just got to find it, and don't give up on yourself, because you deserve more. With that being said, as always, we love you. Yeah. Peace.
Be out.